there, this is Straight Talk, no sugar added. I am your host, Nina Perez, and we are here to discuss life topics to challenge and transform your thinking. Let's do this. I wanted to come on here because I wanted to talk about I had a really funky mindset that I had to overcome this week. And I said, I can't be the only one going through stinking thinking. I can't be the only one. So I wanted to come on here because, what do you do when everything around you feels blah, right? It feels dark. It feels like negative space. It just doesn't feel like the positivity thing that you always want to go through. And I had made a quote before that, I'm an optimist and a realist, right? So I'm an optimist because I know that you need optimism to move forward in a very positive way. And I'm also a realist where I know that things are what they are. So there's just a little bit of a battle in me sometimes, but that's who I am. And this week, I kind of was struggling, when it came to looking at debt and bills and my coaching career is starting off and it's going well. But I am a perfectionist at heart, or a recovering perfectionist, and I'm trying to not go there because I go there a lot, right? My mindset plays a huge part on how I view myself and everything around me. And I always try not to be like that super duper over the top positive, ignore everything going around you type person. That is not who I am. I kind of see things for what they are and I deal with them accordingly to how I see them, right? So your mindset does play a huge part in how you view yourself and everything around you. And I know it does for me. And so that was really tough for me this week. When I woke up and I felt blue, I felt a little defeated, I felt like, what am I doing? I was going through one of those moments. And I realized that I didn't even take time to do any self-care either. It's not like I sat there and, stood quiet for a moment and did my 3 grateful things that I do every day, those kind of things. But, remember that you talk to yourself more than anybody else talks to you. And so when you wake up in that space that you just feel like this is such a heavy burden, and I don't know why I feel this way, and this is really a funky feeling, it's not fun. And when you're a professional or an entrepreneur and you're starting a new project or you're starting something that you have hopes for and that you are looking at and you're like, okay, this is taking a little longer than I thought, and I don't have the $60,000 that I need to push this products, right? It becomes really difficult to just stay focused. And, I woke up in that place. I was feeling a little blue and I felt like maybe I needed to have my own little pity party, invite a couple people over and have a bottle of wine or something. I didn't do that. And that was really hard for me also not to stay in that pity party because, back many, many, many moons ago, I liked pity parties and I wanted people to be there with me. But my mindset has changed throughout the years. And I realized that it doesn't mean that you're never going to have a bad freaking day. You're going to have a bad freaking day. You're probably going to have more than one. And it is tough sometimes when you're going through let's say a financial challenge or a health challenge or work challenge or, or a project challenge, like you're trying to invent something new and you're sitting there really struggling with it. And it really becomes hard too, not to look at your other social media pals, if you will, thriving, and that day you feel funky, right? You feel like, "Argh." And so when other people are thriving, you're like, well, why do they have it and I don't, type of thing, right? This is where your mind flow is important. You cannot stay stuck in a different mindset. I don't really use the terminology mindset much because I don't want my mind to set. I want it to always flow and grow. So my terminology is mind flow. That's what I call it. I've always called it that because mindset just feels very I don't know. I think everybody's using that word. And so it gets a little bit redundant and a little bit overused. But I do believe in mind flow. I do believe that your brain has to be able to grow and flow. And, and I knew this was going to happen because now that I'm doing the master NLP, they made very clear that that was going to happen. They said, you're going to go through some stuff because you're going to start to realize that some of your thinking needs to change, or you're going to expand the way you think and do things. And so I'm encouraging you that, when your mind is running full speed ahead without you, and what I mean by that is your mind is just running, 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 and you can't seem to catch a break, right? It is really hard to stop yourself from feeling all of those emotions. And there's a lot of emotions that come up, right? So you start to feel those emotions of worry, anxiety, depression, frustration, especially when it's things that affect your life, like if it's finances or health or something. There's a certain amount of worry and anxious feelings that you get, and your brain just kind of runs with it, right? And if you're somebody who's already struggled in the past with any kind of um depression or anxiety or worry or anything like that from the past, it's going to be super easy for you to go right back into that routine, because it's almost like a habit that you are trying to break, right? So when your mind runs full speed ahead, it will affect you. So there has to be a way for you to change your thinking and change that. I call it stinking thinking. You have to have a way to change that stinking thinking, because it will hold you back from your full potential. I promise you, it will hold you back from your full freaking potential. And what do I mean? You're going to have your full potential by tomorrow? Nope. But it is a step every single day that you have to take back the brain and the mind and say, nope, that is not what we're doing today. And I had to do that because I was doing, I didn't want to bring my husband into my worry and my anxiety that I was having. My whole day was going really poorly. And I had to sit down and say, okay, you're really spiraling out in a bad direction here. Is this serving you? Is this serving you? Is it serving you to sit here worried about your bills, worried about your debt, worried about, this, worried about, is this serving you, Nina? Because if it's not serving you, how are you going to serve others? And that's my purpose, really, to serve others to the highest ability that I can serve them. But I can't do that if I'm sitting in my own stuff, right? And you can't either. I don't care how good you are. If you're sitting there and something stinking thinking, it's going to be really hard for you to pull other people up when you can't pull yourself up. And so you really need to learn how, when your brain is going to be spiraling in a bad direction, to how quickly it is important to bring that sucker back. Challenge and transform your thinking. Make sure that you start to say to yourself, hold on a second, pause. I'm worried about the bills. I'm worried about money. I'm worried about my health. I'm worried about. Is it serving you? It's not that it's a good or bad thing. It just is, right? It is what it is. Like if you're going through health issues, you're going, okay, these are my health issues. They are what they are. Now, what do I do and how does this serve me well? And that's what it takes to transform your thinking. You have to start transforming this bad boy right here. This little thing right here in between your head has to start being transformed so that you can then transform your life and then go and transform the lives of others. You're not going to be able to do that any other way. You have to start working on it. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen just because. It is going to happen because you put in the freaking work, and you got to do it. And it sucks. Hi, Carlin. How are you? And that's the thing. Like, yeah, I was going through it this week, Carlin. I know it really, really sucks when you go through this, and sometimes you feel like you're by yourself, like nobody's there with you, like you are, and then if you're somebody who is, a coach or a leader or a podcaster that everybody listens to, or you're a CEO or CFO or whatever, and you're going through that, now you really feel isolated. And so it's funny because a lot of people think that, people that are like big CEOs or coaches or leaders or thought leaders or whatever they are, when they go through their funk, they feel alone. Don't think that they don't. They feel alone, because how are you going to share that with someone? The last thing that you want somebody to think is that you're weak, or you want somebody to think that, that you're going through something, you're going through a depression or whatever. But truth be told, it is tough to go through that shit by yourself. You have to reach out to people. You have to reach out to people that give a crap, because when you are sitting in that, and let me tell you, I was sitting in it. I got a little bit afraid that I was gonna like tilt a little bit over to the depression side, or tilt a little bit over to the anxiety side. Hi, Andrew. And I was really, really afraid of that. I was super scared that I was going to tilt that way. And it was taking me a minute or two to pull myself out of it. I mean, thank goodness that I'm doing this NLP master class, because I was able to sit down and meditate and pull myself back into a place to know, okay, this is what it is. So is it serving you, Nina? Is it serving you? And then I'm like, it is not serving you. And I realized that I generalize a lot when I am upset, right? So when I woke up in that deep place, I was like, wow, okay, I was feeling funky all day. It was a really not a good day. I was like really battling this fight between my old depression that wanted to come back and kind of like hang out with me, and the new mindset of I can do all things, right? So I'm like, I'm wrestling and I'm fighting. And I literally felt like it was a real fight with my brain and my emotions, right? And so when you're there, when you're in that place, hey, Chris, when you're there, right, it is tough. And when you're somebody who has people that, you respect, and people that you have up, there, I love you too, bro. And you have them there with you, and you are there, and you're going through that, and you're by yourself. And then you start to be like, damn, everybody, right? Now I'm generalizing, right? All the time I'm struggling with these finances, or all the time I'm not feeling well, and everybody thinks this, and then you start to generalize, right? And it's bullshit, because generalizing is bullshit. It is not true that those things happen all the time and everybody, right? But this is what we do because we're in that place. We're in that really sucky, really shitty place where nobody wants to be. And the truth is that you have to be careful, because when you are somebody who people listen to or people value, and you're on, screen, and you're on a mic, and you're sitting here, and you're in Clubhouse, and you're whatever. And, and I know what, talking to you guys just now about revelation, you know what threw me off? I was doing a Clubhouse room, and I was explaining something, and I was talking about what would you say to yourself, now, when 20 years ago. And I was explaining what happened to me, and somebody that was brought up by the audience by another moderator goes, geez, will anybody else get a chance to talk? My God. And then they hung up and they left, right? That threw me off. And I'm like, why the hell is that throwing me off? Nina is tough skin. I really am. I really am. I don't really get offended very easy. I say it like it is, whatever, but that threw me off. And then I couldn't get my game back on, right? Then like a day or two later, I'm like now struggling with, am I good enough? What am I doing? Why am I financially struggling? Why is this happening to me? Blah, 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 and everybody and all the things, right? And that shit didn't serve me well at all. And that's what I had to do, is sit my ass down and say, okay, let's get out of this little pity party thing you got going on here, and let's talk about this, because mental health is a real thing, and people do struggle with mental health. And I also know how energy feels, right? Like when you're around even yourself and you feel that low and that energy level drops, you got to pick that up, and you got to figure that out, because you will easily spiral out. Your brain is there to protect you. So your brain will help you spiral out, because your brain is going to say, no, you're right. You can't do that. Don't do that, because it's trying to protect you from getting hurt. It's trying to protect you from trying new things. It's trying to protect you from your environment, all of that. So your brain is just serving you, right? But when your emotions are attached and it's a negative thing, you have to really ask yourself, is this shit serving me well? Is this serving me? And if it's not serving you, then find out what does, because that doesn't, right? And when you have to go there and you realize that you are really not getting served in that area, and you're generalizing everything. So you're in this funk now where you think everybody's against you, and your bills are always there, and you're always lacking, and you know where that comes from? The poverty mentality that I grew up with. right? It's come and reaps its ugly back head back over here. And it comes back up and it goes, hey, remember you're poor. Remember you don't have. Remember you're always lacking. Remember. So the minute that we're going through a little bit of a struggle, which is, come on, not a big deal, right? We all can get through it. Here comes the ugly backside and comes up and goes, yeah, remember? Yeah, you really can't. Mm-hmm. And there it goes. And now you're spiraled. So I'm going to encourage you that you stop yourself for a second anytime you go through funk, because I think all of us have gone through some funk. I don't care who you are. I'm sure that even if you are, hey, Elba, I'm sure that even if you are on a screen with a mic, very popular, don't tell me you don't go through stuff. You absolutely do. And you have to find a group of people, a tribe of people, whatever you want to call them, that you can call on to try to reach out to. Because if you don't have that, if you don't have some sort of support, some sort of something to like help you through that, it's going to be really, really freaking tough. So what did I do? I went to work. I was in a bad freaking place. Here I am. I just don't want to be here. What the hell is going on? I don't like my life today type of bull crap, right? And I just turned on some good podcasters. I'm like, nope, Nina can't be here today. Okay, Chris, you know what I'm talking about. We can't be here today. All right. So I literally had to sit there and it was a fight. It wasn't like, oh, I said, okay, positive thinking. No, it was stronger than that. I had literally had to sit there and say, okay, what is serving you in this? What is not serving you? Okay. And then even what I thought wasn't serving me was serving to protect me. So there are things sometimes that we think are negative that are actually your brain is just trying to protect you. Right. But we have to find a way to take that negative or what we think is a negative thought and that positive place we want to be. And we have to try to find a way to see how they can be together so that they can both serve you well. So when you're going through some stuff, and man, I'm going through some stuff. But when you're going through some stuff, you have to say, okay, is my emotion serving me right now? Is what I'm feeling serving me right now? Is being here serving me? And you know, sometimes it may, because maybe you need to reevaluate. Maybe you need to relook at things, you know, shift your head to the left, to the right, see what's going on. But you can't stay there. Okay, now, can you? I mean, you do have that right to sit in your shit. You have the right to do that. You're just going to start smelling like shit is all I'm saying. Right? So pull yourself up and ask yourself, is this serving me? And if you can't pull yourself up, I really highly encourage you to reach out to people that you know have the right head on their shoulders that can help pull you up, because we all need it. I don't care who you are. I don't care how famous you are. I don't care how popular you are. I don't care how big you are. You need it. Okay? We all need it. We all need to do that. We all need to reach out. And we all need to have someone that we can lend an ear to. And, you know, sometimes I will, when somebody's on my heart, I would just randomly reach out to them and say, hey, you know what? You was on my heart today. And I might not even know them that well. I have had the absolute pleasure and blessing to speak to people I have never met physically, because I do podcasting, right? So when I do the podcast and when I do my YouTube channels and I'm doing these amazing interviews, I don't know them from a can of paint. But I know them by listening to them and by listening to what they've said, watching their social media and things like that. And you know, our world is getting like that. We're all digital now, right? But what I've learned is that when you build these relationships, even if you haven't met them, you might be able to still pull something out that you can then utilize for your benefit. And that's all this is about. It's about me talking to you right now in this screen. And if you're listening and watching, then you know I care. And if you know I care, you know you can DM me. And you know you can DM me, you'll know I'll respond. And therefore, we will then build some sort of community and relationship with one another. And if my content can bless you, come on now. Yes. Oh, thank you, Chris. You know what? You mean a lot to me, Chris. That's why. And I thank you for taking the message and messaging me back. I really appreciate you. And I really do that. I did that with Chris because Chris is this amazing podcaster at the Win-Win Effect and Winject. And if you don't know anything about Winject, go to Winject, WINJECT, because it is amazing what he's doing over there. And so the win-win effect is his podcast, and I listen to that, and it's inspiring. Like, the guy is, I mean, he's just inspiring. He tells it like it is. He just says whatever he has to say. And you know what? That's one of the podcasts I actually listen to. I actually listen to that almost on a daily basis. Why? I always get something and I always grow. But when you're in that place of your darkness and you're in that place of your crap and you just can't move forward, I encourage you to pull yourself up and out. You don't have to sit there, guys. You don't have to. Okay. I used to always think like, oh, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. It didn't do shit for me. It didn't serve me. In fact, now I'm going to be 49 in like a few days, 49 in a few days. And I've spent a lot of my younger days working like a dog, working hard like a dog, and woe is me all the way. And I've realized that shit did not serve me. And so I'm trying to build Straight Talk to a shortcut for you. I want you to have a shortcut to where you want to go. I want self-development for you to be, jump over here and skip all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to go through all of the stuff. And that's why I'm encouraging you that when you're in that dark place, I promise you, you can get out of it. I thought I was going to sit in there. I was actually very worried because it had gone few hours where I could literally not get myself out of that mood. I couldn't get myself out of it. And so I'm like, okay, this is bad. I think I need to really do something here. I'm scared. And I really started to get scared about it. So then I started listening to some inspirational podcasts. I started reading. I started closing my eyes and just taking a moment. I started doing all of that because I said, you know what, girl? It doesn't matter. You got this. You will make it another day. I promise you got this, right? And so I have to try to cherish the moments that I have. And let me tell you something. That day was a really hard day for me, very hard. And I wanted to come on here because I realized, this guy had bumped into my husband. I don't know if you guys heard my Instagram, but this guy had bumped into my husband and told him that my podcast has completely transformed his life and the life of his family because he has been able to make decisions that have changed the trajectory of his family. Let that sink in for a second. Because I have decided to get out of my own way and serve you and serve all of you that listen, it impacted his life and the life of his family and changed the trajectory of his life. Hello. And that's not just because of Nina. That's because of the guests that I have that come on and have these amazing, important dialogues that change people's lives. And that's why I will do podcasting. I will do this YouTube. I will do this, mentoring and coaching probably for the rest of my life, because it is something that will always impact me because it helps me to impact others. So I just want to let you know you're not alone. If you're feeling in a dark place, if you're feeling worried about your finances or your health or whatever it is, you are not freaking alone. There are people out here who are feeling what you're feeling and going through what you're going through. So please go ahead and reach out and ask people. And, if you need help from me, you can DM me. I'm on Straight Talk, No Sugar Added on every single platform in the world. And what did you say, Chris? If you don't do what you can do, you are a disaster. If you don't do what you can't do, there is no issue. Our shows change lives, and that's why we do it. Exactly right. And that's exactly right, Chris, because I listen to your podcast, and man, you're just you don't take no shit. And I really respect that. And so I thank you for even being on here for now, because I know that you should be probably sleeping or something right now. So thank you for being here and sharing this space with me. And guys, thank you guys so much for listening to me rant about having a dark day. But as you can tell, I'm out of the dark day and into the light I go and forward. Thank you guys so much. I love you so very much. DM me if you want to. This is Nina Perez. This is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. Until next time, with hopefully not more shit. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Make sure that you visit our website at Straight Talk No Sugar Added, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes and Stitcher or anywhere you listen to your podcast or on YouTube, so you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you simply tell a friend about our show, that would be awesome too. If you like this show, you might want to check out our book as well. It's Hit Me With Your Best Shot, How I Overcame a Hard-Hitting Life. I am Nina Perez, and I am here for you. If you are looking for private coaching, make sure that you email me at hello@straighttalknosugaradded.com. Until next time.